when the devil cannot reach you, he sends a man. Hola, Kinalito, aka Mahadi, not Mahali. I am the girl that calls for countries home. I am from Lesotho, but I am also South African. I am also British. I am also Aussie. Aussie. Oi. Yeah, I live in Perth, Western Australia. Welcome to my channel. Thank you for being here. If you're a returning subscriber, I love you. Thank you for your support. If you're new here, please do select that subscribe button. Okay, so I haven't spoken relationship things in a very, very long time. It may not be that long actually, but for me, for myself, for my standards, it is a really long time. Yeah, I've been thinking of this topic for a while. I think it is an important one actually to talk about because this is the reality for so many women, post-marriage. A lot of women in the generation before us, or like our older sisters, they sort of like opt to not remarry, like if they are widowed or divorced, probably because there is also the Christian thing of, is it okay to remarry? Heaven just recognizes your first spouse and all that. I was very, very marriage shy. I think it's gamophobia. I think I still have a little bit of that, but I know like after my divorce and in the way things happened and in the way I'm still experiencing things, I was so broken. I was hurt. I just felt I do not trust a man. I'm now at a point where I trust and I can be vulnerable and I actually want to start a life with someone. But I still feel like I am cautious. There's two, like I see something and I'm out of here. I'm not tolerant as much as I could be. Although I do feel like I'm getting better. I've been more tolerant of things I shouldn't be tolerating because I was told in previous experiences in the last 5 years that I'm too hard on people. Being reminded that people are human. People can change when they know what you don't like. It's about learning each other's preferences and each other's put-offs. And I got separated in 2020 and divorced 2023. I think. Could be 2022. So in that time, I have met potential suitors. I have opened up myself to, and because I came here, of course, I was telling my story. So everybody knew that I'm free, like I'm single, unmarried, let me put it that way. So I do get people in my inbox expressing their wishes, which I'm quite grateful for actually, because although I was telling someone that, my issue, even as a girl before I got married, the thing that gave me the most headache was which one is the right one? Which is sort of like what I had been experiencing. Who is the right one? Which one is the right one? And because I've developed into my own person, my own woman who knows what she wants, who knows what she prefers, what she will not tolerate, I have found I have very specific things that I will not tolerate. And then, of course, people are people, they're humans. Nobody will have 100% of what you're looking for. And then you'll see someone, or you'll experience someone who has 60% of what you're looking for. But the 40% you just can't stand. It's just the 40% that you just can't stand. Then you meet someone else and they've got that 40% that you value, but then they don't have the 60% that, because it existed in the other person, you didn't realize how much you actually wanted the 60%. and then there's 50-50. And it's hard. It's hard. It's hard. It is difficult. It's extremely difficult. I think it's just having faith and praying about things, praying for God to guide you to the right person. Sometimes you feel you found your person because they have your 80%, they have your 90%. But then there's just other life matters, because now we're all parents. We're parents, we're overseas. Some people are in a whole other country. And everybody's going through something. People have gone through the divorce. People are broke. People are poor. We're all struggling. So it's like, okay, how do I get to you? How do you get to me? It's like, and then in the end, you're like, you know what? I can't do this. I can't do this. I love you, but I can't. I can't do this. I cannot afford to be with you. So it's not going to work. Or it's like, remember I did a video about wanting to go back home, and I said it's raining men. And then, it's like there's men in Africa. But where are you? You're in Australia. Or you meet a man in Australia, the man wants to be in Africa. Or you meet them, it's like, it's hard. Like, what's, like, guys, there is no, the men are there, but they're just not, if they are physically where you are, they're either don't believe in God, or like there's something, or they want to get married tomorrow, or they don't want you to pursue your career, or they're not paying child support, or they want to retire in Africa, they want to go home, or their children are unruly. It's like, help! Heads off to, I've got a couple of friends who have been married. They got divorced and remarried. I'm like, heads off. It's like, you are so picky. At the same time, you're thinking, okay, why should I not be picky? Why should I not marry who I want to marry? And then the next question is who you want to marry, does that person exist? Do they exist? Do they exist? Do they exist? Because I remember, as we get older, people will say, once people are divorced, they settle. And people say that as well, people that are divorced themselves or in second marriages, they're like, at our age, we're not choosing anymore. We don't want picky. You just want someone you get old with and you live forever as friends. And I like that. I like that. Because, okay, before I make that point, the point I was making was the thing that terrified me the most. It was the lack of money. Like, you guys know how I have struggled. Because of not having money. And I have the same traumas in my marriage as well. The financial issues. Let me just put it that way. And I remember telling myself, I am not marrying a broke man again. Like, not again. I'm not marrying a broke man. I'm not marrying a man who cannot manage their finances. A man who is reckless with their finances. I am not marrying a man who is not financially stable. And then I'm not marrying a man who is not emotionally stable, who has not worked on themselves, who have not seen the door of a therapist, a psychotherapist. And then, of course, as I was, speaking about the 20%, 20, 80, 60 something, you find a man who is so open and willing to learn, who is continually working on themselves and their healing, who is healthy emotionally. And yet, also for me, this is the thing. I remember having on my list that I don't want a man who is homophobic. And I want a man who is God-fearing, who's passionate about God, who is funny, who is this, who is that. And men who are God-fearing are homophobic. Not all of them, of course. But it's either they are too far left or too far right, you know? It's like, I sometimes think, okay, wait, am I wanting someone who is like me? Like, it's forever introspection. Like, okay, what do you want? What do you want? And I'm like, yeah, I think I want someone like me. But does that person exist? Because I am, there were friends who were, they were just jokingly recommending me to someone who is very, from outward appearance, looks very strict and, you know, on the thing. And I was like, look at me, like, I dye my hair, I have makeup, I dance, I love life. You know, that person is like this. There is no way, you know. So it's, why was I making that point? Goodness, I don't even remember what I was making that point. Okay, I think the point I was making was, I've seen that I'm layered. I'm so layered. Like, while I can like listen to comedy and they're swearing and it does not faze me, like I don't find it offensive or, you know, anything like that. I can watch things that, you know, with nudity. I mean, these are adult things that can be watched by myself at my age. I'm just thinking of whoever's watching who might be. I still, there are things for me that, you know, as a Christian, you know what I mean? We all have our different standards. We think, oh, as a Christian person, you shouldn't wear makeup. Or as a Christian person, you shouldn't do this. But I am so liberal, and yet I'm so strict. And I'm like, I don't think anybody like you exists, little. There's nobody like you that exists. But at the same time, you still want someone that you will gel with, someone that is not too far to the, because when I think, okay, I don't mind someone that's not from my church, as long as this person is God fearing, as long as this person this person that, you know. And then you think, oh wait, but do I actually not want, do I not care? Do I actually not care? I'm like, I actually care. I actually want someone from my church. I'm like, wait, but then the in my experience, the Christians that I have experienced in my 44 years of life, people who were more Christian were people who were not from my church. You understand? I experienced more Christianity, in practical Christianity, from people outside my church. And that is, I think, what has changed, that changed my mind about a lot of things. But saying that, how important is it to me to have someone with my same beliefs? You know, equally yoked. But does equally yoked mean this person has to be Adventist? Or does it mean this person has to be Christian and their Christian view has to match my Christian view? Because that's also different. But thankfully, at our age, we're not looking at having kids, although that can happen. We're not looking at those things and how our parenting styles would be and how we would want to bring up our kids in terms of, you know, the religious beliefs. Like, how do you want your children to worship? Who is God to you? Is God to me the same to you? Like, who is God to you as my man? Is God to you the God that I believe, you know, God is? Are we serving the same God? Then of course, you know, there's cultural things. Am I wanting a black man? Am I not minding a white man or a non-black person? The reason I just say black is because, like, I mean black African. It's because for me, I haven't dated someone from my country. I've never been with someone from my country. So I know I'm not looking for someone from my country. I'm just looking for someone who is compatible, who loves me, whom I love. For me, that's the base, but the person has got to be African, Southern African, I must add. I don't mind them being from my country. I just mean I'm not specifically like, oh, culturally, this, that. No. I love me, my Zim guys. Like, listen, I love me, my Zim guys. I love me, my Shona, like, don't get me started with Shona, Ndebeles as well, and Xhosas, even though I haven't dated a Xhosa person like since my divorce. Before marriage, I knew I wanted a Xhosa guy. I'm marrying a Xhosa guy. That never happened. I ended up with a Sotho, and I was good. Didn't feel like I was missing out on a Xhosa man, but that's who I wanted before. Now I'm looking Southern because I feel like I relate. I don't mind Kenyans, but I'm afraid of Nigerians. I'm afraid. I do not trust Nigerians. I don't. So I don't know. It's all these misconceptions we have, By the way, I'm not saying I am single. I'm not saying I am single. Disclaimer. But it is so challenging to get a guy. They're there. I know for some people, the guys are just not there. They're not there. Nobody's approaching you. But there's a lot of lonely guys as well that are divorced or widowed, and they don't know how to approach someone. But also, they're still holding on to their loved ones that passed. It's like, okay, I'm too sad to even try and bring someone else into this life. Also, after being married for a long time, because marriage itself is a lot of work, It was such hard work. You work for so long to get to a point where you see things eye to eye. It's like, for me, I was married 20 years. And I, from 19 to 39. And we were now at a point where it's effortless, where you know what I don't like, I know what you don't like, I know how you think. It's effortless, it's easy, So I'm like that because, despite that, of course, the marriage still did not survive. So that doesn't mean that once you're there, you're going to survive. I love marriage, and I think marriage is a blessing. From feeling very much marriage shy after my divorce and feeling that, my goodness me, I'm not doing this again, I am at a point where I actually want to do this, but I am busy with my life. I am pursuing my career. I am pursuing things. I have goals and dreams that I'm pursuing, but that has not removed the desire to spend life with someone. But these someones that we want to spend time with, they come in our lives and they don't want us to pursue their careers. They have their own dreams and goals about their wife and about, their life partner. My goodness, that guy was my cheerleader. Listen, if he's watching this, he knows. Surely he knows I'm talking about him. He was my cheerleader. I'd never been with someone who, this person wanted me to win. It's just that he was lacking in a lot of ways. He was the only person I've dated who had never been married, which I did tell him, for me, this is a red flag. How are you older than me and you've never married him? He was just a year older than me, 1980. And how are you never married? Because there's so many positives in someone who has been in marriage, and ultimately that was the end of us. The fact that I felt he doesn't know how to fight. He doesn't fight fair. He doesn't fight. People in marriage, you fight with the goal. You are together. Like, you are not the enemy. You're not each other's enemy. The enemy is the issue. You fight with that in mind. You're fighting, but it's not the end. Just because you're fighting, this is not the end of the relationship. But people who fight, people who haven't learned that, there are a lot of people who have come out of marriages, when the third marriage or whatever, who still cannot fight. They don't fight fair. They don't fight in love. When they fight, people swear, people use profanity, people will make you feel like dirt or like poop because they're offended. They don't know how to control their anger. They don't know how to control their feelings. If you hurt them deeply, they want to hurt you deeply. Whereas fighting fair, or when you fight in marriage, if someone hurts you deeply, you need to have the ability to step back, and once everybody's calm, you tell the other, I was not happy. That really hurt my feelings. And you talk about it. Like there's a different way of fighting. And if your partner is truly frustrated and they're going on and on and on about something, you need to have the ability to let them vent. Let them vent, apologize, and then say your bit. Not because they're venting at you, you go on the offensive. You cut them. You don't want to talk about it. You don't give them space to offload, because we all fight differently. So you need to, as you learn each other and learn how you fight, your fighting styles, you need to watch. Don't be offended. You need to watch. Like it's like a yin and yang. It's a skill that I've just noticed that depending on what happened in the marriage, what caused the divorce, someone will know how to fight, or they will go on the defense. And a lot of men really don't know how to fight. They just don't know how to fight. He's actually South African. At first, I felt, whoa, I love the way this man fights, because he would humble himself. He would humble himself and say sorry. But then I noticed that he does this all the time. He never says how he feels. Like I would be wanting to talk about it afterwards. He doesn't want to talk about how he feels. He wants to leave it like, no, man. So that troubled me. And then one day he just, I was like, oh, that's how you are. That's how you are. And then on top of that, he added that I have such high standards. I think I'm better than him. He can never live up to my standards. Or I think he can, or something. Anyway, essentially, he was saying, you're always holding me to these high standards that you want, that are impossible. I can never reach whatever you think you are, whatever. I was like, okay. So even after we made up, I was like, okay, we actually cannot proceed. I did try to give him another chance, but then something else happened and we got to fight. And I saw that, no, this person is not the one. Especially if you think, I said to him, look, yes, we were heightened, because that's what he was saying. Look, no, I was upset. Whatever. I said, no, actually, you were being honest. You may have been upset, but you were honest. You feel I'm impossible. So he's in South Africa. I'm here. I expected us to be talking often. How else is the relationship going to survive? This is a long distance relationship. You can't want to go the whole week without calling. If you can't call, you need to communicate. We need to talk. Okay, Tuesday is our phone call day. If I can't do it, make it this Tuesday. Babe, I'm busy. I will not be able to do it. Or I'm in such a bad place. I'm not feeling okay. I'm feeling so low and so depressed. I don't feel like talking. Then I know what's going on. If you're just going to go quiet when you're stressed, so that's the type of person he was. He stressed quite a lot, but I loved that. He was going to therapy, Loved that about him. That man was perfect, but nobody is perfect. But I just couldn't deal with the lack of communication. And then he would shift the blame. Like he wasn't taking responsibility. He didn't understand. And to think that that's putting impossible goals for you. I'm making it impossible because my standards are too high. because I want us to communicate and I want us to not be angry and not communicate. I thought, you know what, this man, I can't teach you at your age if you truly believe what I'm asking is impossible. Like, if that's what you believe that a relationship will survive by itself, we don't have to nurture it. And then, of course, like, he could never express why he loves me, but he loved me, or at least he said it all the time. He told me how beautiful I was all the time, and I actually missed it after we'd broken up. I was like, whoa. And that's the thing that used to be such a put off when we first started talking. I was like, because that's what men do. They'll just tell you you're beautiful. I'm like, oh my days, I know I'm beautiful. Can you come up with something else? Like, let's talk. Like, what's your story? What do you want? You know? But he could never express why he loved me. He would just say, it's because I'm beautiful. And I'm like, that's shallow. That's shallow. You know how many beautiful women are there in the world? How many beautiful women? You don't love all of them the way you love me. Why me? What about me? Like, I want to know when a man wants to be with me. I want to know it's for the right reasons. Like, why do you want to be with me? Why me? What makes me different? And if you start saying the things that I know about myself, sometimes it's things that I don't know about myself, or I know but I don't believe, or I've heard, you know, I was like, but this man could never be able to say it. And then he started getting annoyed. So this time, the last fight we had, actually, I feel like it was just the second fight. We never fought. Like, we really never. But that's because he was always letting me win. You know, I'll be like, but how do you feel? How do you feel? So in the end, I felt like he just wanted to be with me so much, which was a red flag. Like, what? But why do you want to be with me? Do you even? I saw that this man is gonna loathe me once we're married. The man is gonna hate me. He's gonna hate me. So I tried digging. Please tell me why you love me. Why do you love me? He said, Mahadi, you've asked me this before. I've told you. I'm like, yeah, but what did you say? I've told you. No, okay, babe, if I don't remember, it means you didn't tell me, or you said it, but I didn't quite get it, because I still am struggling with why you want to be with me. And yeah, he said, because I'm beautiful. I knew that. Okay. I mean, that was not the only thing that happened. It's just that because I think he'll watch this, I just don't want him to feel some type of way. But mainly I felt he doesn't know how to, the fighting. He is fighting like someone who's never been in a long-term relationship where the stakes are high. Like, you don't want the relationship to end. So we better think of how we are fighting right now. You know, we don't need to make the other feel, we still need to make each other feel loved, even in our fighting. He just didn't, when he did decide to fight back, nah, he and then, of course, very, very big lack of communication. And we never met. Because there was a couple of broken promises of him needing to be here, or him making it, you know, bringing me home, or him coming here, and then no communication. And then I was like, okay, if you come tell me after the fact that you've lost your job, it is of no use to me. Why would I not understand if you tell me at the point where you're losing your job, if you communicate that? It's like this man wanted to be with me so much, and he himself didn't feel good enough that he could not be honest. He was just not honest. And I really don't think, I think he's a good person. I don't think he was not being honest because he was trying to deceive me or anything like that. I think he was afraid because this was the last straw. I was like, okay, if we don't meet this time, you know. And at first it was like, okay, in January. I said, no, look, let's be realistic. When do you think you will have the funds? Let's be realistic. Let's not put a date. Let's just think, when will it be realistic? How much do you need to save? This is how much it costs to come here. How is it going to be possible? Let's look at that. How much do you need to save and for how long? And we went on that date. Like, okay, this is when we will meet because this is when it's possible to do it. So like I say this to say I was not being impossible. It still did not happen because somewhere along the way he lost his job and he failed to communicate that to me. I'm like, if you can't tell me about the things you struggle with, the things you go through. I tell you my struggles all the time. And I'm so grateful that I have you. And you will not let me be part of your life in that way. I don't know. I don't know. So after a while, it just became like, this is a pen pal. You know, people make jokes of long distance relationships. Yeah, there was just too many things that I felt, you know what, I actually cannot compromise on these things because I don't like being lied to. Is it's a very big thing for me. It's very, very big. And he knew this. He knew this. So and then I still tried to give him a chance, but he still thought it was me. I was like, okay, I think Mahadi, you like this guy. You like him. He's just such a sweetheart. But is this your husband? Do you trust this man with your future? Is this a man who is stepping up? Is this a man who's being intentional? No, this is a man who feels your standards are too high. The standards which are basic. These are basic stuff. Basic relationship essentials. But I hope what I'm saying does make sense. I just thought I will come and speak on the struggles. I probably have an issue with trusting. You're essentially trusting someone with your life. It's very, very layered. Very, very layered. Very layered. Pray for us. Pray for us because I think I mentioned it at one point the last time I spoke on relationships and all of that. There was like a Q&A, I think, and I was saying, I think when I'm 50 or is it when I'm 55, I had plans. I had plans. I was going to finish my degree, do my honors, work, do my PhD. Then I can think of men, you know. But where are we now? We're working. We are not doing what we had planned because we had to drop out of uni because we could not afford it. We've come a long way. And we've had to let go of the dreams we had for ourselves. The same way we had to let go of the dreams we had for our marriages and where we thought we were going. We had to let go of that and come into, okay, now we're doing life alone. What are the dreams we have? How are we getting what the locust stole? How are we getting it back? You have a plan here. The Bible says many are the plans for men, but it's the Lord that fulfills them. We had our plan and it was clear. It was like, yeah, life had other plans. And it's like now we've come where we are happily walking in faith, not knowing where we're going. But I think I'm still struggling with seeing. Once I get into a decision that, okay, this is where we're going, like, oh, I see it. And then a man comes. There's something that I read. It says when the devil cannot reach you, he sends a man. Because for me, I've had plans. Laser focus. I mean, one of my plans once upon a time was to go home. I'm going home. You know, after my heart was broken and everything. And then a man comes. And then you think, okay, how is this man going to fit into my life? Ooh, I'm going that way. Okay. okay, let me slow down. Let's wait for him to get here. And then I'm looking at myself. I'm like, I keep doing this. I have plans. I have my plans that are clear as day. I have them here. I know where I'm going. And then a man comes. And then I'm wanting to fit in the man into my plans. And of course, men do not fit us in. And after the marriage that I had, where essentially I was a housewife full time, while I supported him to specialize, to do all sorts. And when it was my turn, he left. I told myself, I'm not doing that again. But I'm still. And you know what? I've made peace with the fact that this is the type of person I am. If I meet someone, I love someone, and it's working, I'm not going to make things impossible. We're going to need to figure out how are our lives going to merge. I'm not going to say, look, me, I'm going that way. If you're going that way, you'll follow me if you want, but saying that, I must say as well that I've also come to a point where I am following my heart. I'm following the things that God has put in my heart, despite the men not wanting them. So right now, I'm going to Sydney. By God's grace, I'm speaking it into existence. We are prophesying, because who is our God? Who is our Father? Who is our Father? And my man is like, so what about me if you go to Sydney? Can you not go to Sydney? I'm like, is it because you didn't think this thing will work out? Or is it, I'm like, babe, I'm going to Sydney. I'm going to Sydney. So we have finally got to that point where we are choosing us. This is the one thing I'm not compromising on, my career. I'm not compromising anymore. But we can talk while I'm in Sydney. How are you coming to Sydney? So I feel like when you're in a relationship, you're working together. You need to be able to compromise yourself. You need to be able to support me to a point of coming to where I am, and not just expecting me to come to where you are. I'm finishing off. Okay. All right. So we are gonna stop it here. We've been going round and round and round and round and round in circle. But yeah, essentially, I just wanted to talk about the struggle is real about settling post-marriage or in adult relationships. Heads off to people who just go into it without thinking twice and decide that, okay, if it's hell, let it be, or somehow make sure it's not hell. I don't know. But we are praying about it, we're praying for God's guidance, because it's like, okay, am I with the right person right now? Oh, which one of these two suitors is the right one? Or do I need to not be thinking of a man right now? Do I need to just be alone for 5 years? Do I just need to be alone and grow my wealth, get rich auntie vibes, do my thing, forget about the male species? Like, it is so hard. It's so hard knowing what to do. I feel like just as a Christian, it's so hard to know what to do. What's the right thing to do? A lot of times I wish God was here to say it from his mouth, that this is what you need to do. I think it's about us making decisions based on what we're hearing as we pray, as we read, to say, okay, I think in this situation, God would want me to do this. But what I know is God is pleased with us making decisions rather than not. So yeah, I hope your situation is better. Just keep praying and just not focus on, okay, I need a man. Let's focus on us growing and being happy without the man. Yeah. All right. Thank you for watching. Love you. But remember, God loves you even more. And that is true. Ciao, ciao. Hella, you watched everything. Thank you so much for watching everything. Now don't forget to subscribe and go back to my other videos and scroll and scroll and scroll and watch everything. There's very good things in here, very good interesting things. You are number one. Number one. Now thank you and take care of yourself.